long nights. There will be long nights on the path to greatness. Long nights where the sun is not shining. Pure darkness. But you must absorb all the pain you feel. And smile because the sun always comes back up. The rising of the sun is inevitable. Dark times never last. That's so powerful. That's so Preme. That's one of the 7 styles of Preme. That's actually my philosophy. The quote you can extract from this is the philosophy I now live life by. It's my complete philosophy. In fact, I'm about to tell you how powerful I just came up with this concept, right? I was sitting here and I wrote this out in my free Telegram, link in the description. I wrote this out and I was typing it out. And I was talking about how the sun always comes up. At night, the sun always rises again the next morning, always. Not one day has the sun not came up. Somewhere on the planet Earth, somewhere, somehow, the earth spin, the sun come back up. No matter what dark time you talk about. And the last part of the quote said, it stuck out to me. This just was just an intuition download. It was so powerful. It said, just me, came out of my brain, my mastermind genius brain, Preme. Dark times never last. They never last. Think about it. All of the times you were in pure darkness and you did not know how to get out, it was a shining light at the end of the tunnel. Every time. Think about it. Every time you've been in a bad place in life, a dark place in life, it has never lasted. And that is my new philosophy. I'm about to extrapolate it out. Dark times never last. You're only grateful for the sun from all of the times it was dark. You're only grateful for when it's light outside because of the dark time. That's the only reason you're grateful for the sun. So I'm being grateful and thankful for every single bad thing that has happened to me because bad things don't last. Good things last more than bad things if you truly think about it. No one is truly grateful for all of the bad things that happens to them, all of the pain, all of the sadness. Nobody's truly happy for that. Why not? I'm happy. It builds me. It builds my spiritual pressure. I talk about spiritual pressure. It builds my spiritual pressure. My hockey level starts to increase. My ki starts to increase. I start to go kaioken. Every time some darkness or bad thing has happened in my life, my spiritual level increase. My spiritual pressure increases. So I don't look at these things as something bad. Every time I go through something dark and bad, I sit and say, dark times never last though. So I need to be grateful for it. I sat in here one night and I absorbed all of the sadness and pain or whatever I felt. Wasn't even necessarily sadness or pain or any of these things. I sat there and absorbed it all. All of the enemy's attacks, all of the bullets, all of the punches the enemies try and punch me with, I absorb it all and I stand there and I use all of my brute force back on the enemy and punch and break his body. I'm a champion boxer. The attacks of life cannot stop me. I am a champion boxer. Strength and reaction of a champion boxer and the plasticity of a gymnast. I can flex. I'm so flexible that life cannot bend or break me. You need to become this version of a human body, which is perfect. Also, the speed of a Olympic runner, speed of Olympic sprinter. You need that also. You need to be able to punch life back with pure speed. This is the philosophy of dark times never last. So you need to sit and absorb all of the pain. I just sat here one night and I just absorbed it all. And I just sat there and I was thankful. I said, you know what? I'm thankful. For all of the bad things, for all of the good, everything that has happened to my life, all of the pain, I'm not going to run from it. I'm going to stand there and I'm going to absorb it all. I'm going to absorb all the pain. That's how you need to start to think, because it gives you a better way to dealing with pain and dealing with the bad problems in life rather than running away like a little coward. Most people run away like a little puppy dog. You know the little chihuahuas who's always loud? Chihuahuas have the loudest mouth. But as soon as you start to step to them, they start to cower and run. But you was just barking that whole time. Stupid chihuahua dog. Stupid dog, chihuahua. I dislike chihuahuas. Chihuahuas are a pet peeve. You got a chihuahua, I don't want to talk to you, because it just shows that you just live your life with small puppy dog chihuahua just barking. He just run his mouth all the time, and then he's a coward. Stupid chihuahua dog. Anyway, quick rant. You need to understand dark times do not last forever. And this is a great philosophy. So you need to be thankful for the dark times that happen. What man, you can say me, for example. Let's say I have a boxing match and I lose tremendously, so bad. But I still am happy. You can't crush my soul. Even if I were to lose, you can't crush my soul and my mind. They thought me losing, which I have never lost before, I'm just making a point. They thought me losing will crush my soul. I'm Preme. My soul can't be crushed by mere mortal. I'm sitting amongst my temple with my mind in my control. These people can't stop you once your mind is in your control and you have the weapons of Superman, which is your mind. You need to use your mind. Dark times don't last, so be grateful. When you sit with the darkness, you just be grateful for all of it. You start to not run away from it. You start to not be afraid of it, because you start to understand that this is a part of life, yin and yang. You start to understand that the dark times are just as good as the good times. If you can enjoy the dark times that happen to you, if you can enjoy suffering and going through the pain and going through the journey, I guarantee you life will transform, because you're no longer thinking like a peasant. All these peasants and cowards, they're afraid of something as soon as it get hard. They can't switch their mind. They can't switch it. As soon as something get hard or something get painful or some dark times happen, they're afraid. They can't do anything. These are cowards. Imagine a man like me. Imagine genuinely you put him through the worst situations on earth that a man could ever go through. He's still unbroken. He's still getting up in the midst of the battle. The enemy hit me with tanks. The enemy shot me with with flying jets. The enemy used our strafe guns. The enemy used all these different bullets to try to destroy me and still couldn't. And I'm still in the midst of the battlefield, standing there, smiling. Imagine putting a man through so much darkness that you cannot destroy him. That he just comes out on top every time, because he knows the sun is always there. The sun always comes back. The sun always rises. It always do. Any dark time that has happened, you cannot tell me one dark time in your life where the sun did not come back up. And you're an absolute lie if you say the sun didn't come back up. You're a lie. Name one time in your life where you went through some dark time, some dark trial, and the sun didn't come back up. You forgot about it. You forgot you even went through that hard thing because you got over it. You start crushing the game so completely. So that is the whole philosophy of Preme. The whole philosophy of Preme is to understand dark times never last and just be grateful. I sit amongst all the darkness and all the sadness. Even I will sit there. Like one of my trainings, when I trained out in the wilderness, and I went and I ended up finding a hidden path path which led to a railroad. And it was so dark on both sides of the railroad, you couldn't see anything. But I kept hearing things in the midst of the bushes. I kept hearing things crawling in the midst of the bushes. So I was on a railroad and I started to bear crawl the railroad. I started to bear crawl because I was training. I wanted to train my body because I'm genuinely not human. If you think for a second I'm human, you are absolute. I'm not human, first off. I've been here before. I'm just making this known. But that's how I know so much. But I was bear crawling the railroad. And I was bear crawling. And the train was coming. I'm so severe and extreme that if I do not bear crawl this railroad in enough time to train my body, then I have to get hit by this train. I put myself through extreme measures. It's like Baki when he was a kid. Not Baki, not the new Baki, the old Baki when he was a kid. When he was jumping off of the mountain, he jumped off the mountain head first so he can surpass his mental limits. And that's exactly what I did with the training on the railroad. I bear crawled it to surpass my mental limits to extreme measures because the train was coming. And if I did not bear crawl fast enough, the train was going to hit me. So I trained myself. So this training of going through darkness and emerging as a champion, that is the training you need. Click the link in the description. The camera is going dead. T.me/Preme Operations. I'll see you in the free Telegram and upgrade your level hockey, your power, all of your abilities upgraded.